Autism is a very strange condition. When you think about it, you have someone in a body who is not able to do whatever they want. They can have a tantrum, they can cry, they can shout, they can scratch, so many things, but the person inside doesn't want to do that. And they have no choice, and we don't know why.
So, when Zara came into our life, it felt like this oyster with this beautiful pearl, Everything was just perfect. And then one day, whatever, God, whoever, said, 1 minute, excuse me, I need this pearl. Now you play with this oyster. And I said, but I don't want the oyster, I want my pearl back. What is this, So I started looking at the shell and saying, oh, there is luster, there is loads of colors actually in the, and it's not such a bad thing. But that came after acceptance. And constantly I was being told, just once you accept, everything is going to be fine. I said, what do you want me to accept? That she's normal? She's not. I said that she has special needs? She doesn't. What do you want me to accept? Accept that you are in a difficult situation. I said, that's what I need to accept.
Essentially what happened is God created this being, and it's not entirely functional in the way that it should be for everybody else, right? And then he takes this being and then he looks down on earth and he sees 8 billion souls, and then he sees, who can I send this thing to that would take care of him? He chose you, Danish, and he said, these guys look like they can handle this, right? And he sent the kid down to you. You were chosen and given this particular mission that this is what you have to do. Your child isn't special. He's like, you're special. Just have to love him, take care of him to the best of your ability. That's it.
Oh, I will sing of the goodness of God.
For the first time I heard the word autism, the doctor told me, hey, your child has autism. I remember falling on my knees and just crying. But I just wanted to know why. I wanted God to tell me, why? Have we done something wrong?
The first time I realized Suleiman has autism is about when he was already 9 months. And I could see the signs more so because I am a sister to an individual on the spectrum. So I took him to a pediatrician and she outright told me that it's all in your head. And that was actually frustrating. It wasn't relieving for me because I could see those signs and I could see where it's going to go.
When Zara was 4 months old, we gave her a vaccine. The normal, the DPT routine vaccine. 16 hours after the shot, she woke up with a seizure. I didn't know what was happening. Gave her to Zahir and he said, I think she died. And then we took her to emergency. Immediately they revived her, gave her oxygen. It was hard because I worked with people with disabilities, with children and adults. So I knew the future. She's going to stop talking, she'll stop walking, she'll stop doing everything. So I said, not on my watch.
He wants to see why. I was really in total denial. I kept telling him, but he doesn't have autism. He doesn't look like someone who has autism. My natural defense mode was like, now we're going to be judged. Now he is going to be judged. Now people are going to talk a lot about us. How are we going to deal with that? So I remember for like 3, even 6 months, every single day I was crying, but alone. Nobody could see it.
How are we going to tell this to family? How is family going to react to this? Maintaining other people's expectations. I think that for me was an initial challenge, and accepting it. And that took time, about 2 years, for me to figure that out. It's not going anywhere. It's here to stay.
I felt, maybe the first day I felt defeated, but then this feeling of protection came very strongly. I felt my son is so vulnerable in this world, so I felt vulnerable too. I don't normally feel vulnerable, but I felt vulnerable to the point that I was reluctant, going to a plane. But I was trying to hide it. Nobody has to know that as a man, you can't show your feelings. So everything was happening inside.
I don't know, I was quite arrogant and horrible that time. I thought I'm the only one who has a child with a disability, and it's me, and my life sucks, nobody else is mine. And then she came and then she said, I understand what it is, with epilepsy. I said, you really don't. She said, no, I really do. I said, unless you have a child who has epilepsy, you don't understand. So she said, well, I have twins with cerebral palsy, both have epilepsy. I was on the floor crying and begging her and saying, forgive me, I'm so sorry.
I remember breaking down and with the report in my hand. And yeah, do you remember what you said to me?
No.
You were like, okay, now we know what we need to do next. That was it. That was it. And I'm like, okay, here's the 10-page diagnosis report. Do you want to see it at least? And he's like, what? It's not going to tell me something I don't know.
You go in the evening to Tim Hortons,
Yes,
get a chocolate,
donuts.
donuts.
Yes.
Okay? Just give me 10 minutes. Please. Please. Can you?
5 minutes.
Okay, 5 minutes. We'll do 5 minutes. Can you get
Let's go. Hi. Okay. Are you happy, Louis? Yeah. I really wanted to know when it will finish. I wanted to have a timeline. And I thought that really, by maybe age 11 or 12 or 13, he would start to speak. So it was very, very difficult not to put a timeline as to when this could be turned around.
I mean, even though you know what that term means, you know what autism means, but when your own child has it, you forget everything, right? You don't know where to start from. It's overwhelming, just the thought that he's got this diagnosis. You don't know what's out there.
First of all, you're trying to come to terms with it yourself. Your child, you've stopped loving because he's become like a project for you. And we have to do this and we have to do that. If you don't do this, it's so scary for parents to be on this journey. I was doing ABA for Zara, It didn't make any, because why? Because all the parents around me had children on the spectrum and they were doing ABA. I said, okay, this works, I have to also do. Nobody told me you should do it or it's not required for Zara, don't do it.
Carefully. All right, good job.
I grew up
Now push it.
seeing autism as a stigma, and I used to be embarrassed of my sibling because of that. And I didn't want my kids to go through that overwhelm that I did as a kid, to look at Suleiman and get embarrassed around their friends.
And we're going to draw the whole bird and we're going to draw him on a stick.
One of my favorite stories, we were at their school and they had like a science fair. And Mariam was there age 8 and Mustafa was there age 9, and they all had their science projects. So we went in. Now Suleiman has hearing sensitivities, and I can see Suleiman sitting from the corner of my eye over there, and he's sitting like this. And I have a picture. And across the road, I see Mariam. And she gets up with her friends and she walks over, she puts her hand on his shoulder. And then she asked him, do you want to go outside? And I was like, she's 8. If I did anything right, that's it, right? An 8-year-old got up, put her hand on her brother and said, it's cool, I'm here. It was the best moment of my life.
Yes.
So I used to volunteer in the school for special needs, and I never imagined that my daughter one day would become a student there. Never. And one of the teachers there, she said, Gulshan, you need to join a support group. I said, but I can't find one. She said, if you can't find one, start one. And so I started in my living room with just 6 families. There was a mother with a 21-year-old daughter at that time. And she was just breaking down and crying. I said, I don't want to be like that, you know. I mean, come on, 21. Move on. Just enjoy your child. So then it started, and initially we had a psychologist, Aisha, who was there. And she was bringing in all therapists and psychologists to talk. And the parents didn't want that. You know, they're fed up.
Yeah. Therapy.
Yeah, and as soon as we said we are going to have a party, the whole lot would come. Let's just play Bollywood music, party. Everyone bring one dish and come and we sit together. I said, forget the talks, and nobody wants that. You know, let's move on with that. Let's just enjoy each other's company.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, go. Slide. Slide.
There's a reason why any kind of challenge like autism has a support group. Because only another parent will understand my problem. I love my friends, they are like brothers and to me, but I just know that they just can't walk in my shoes for a day because it's just difficult to explain. But I can meet a stranger at a park and I feel so close to that person because we've just gone through exactly the same thing. It's like we are brothers in battle.
One of the side effects of autism is isolation. So it's important to seek out for help and to be part of a community because it's a journey and it's also a struggle. And to take that journey and that struggle on your own is very, very difficult.
In fact, when a parent is watching another parent struggling, they'll go up to them and say, my child was exactly like this, and this is what I did. And that advice is much better than any therapist, any doctor,
Yeah, it's hope, right? It's somebody talking to you 10 years down the line saying, it gets better. It's fine. Ho jayega. This is stuff I know.
And this is how you can handle. And so when I'm talking to new parents and I'm telling them, they said, thank you so much for giving so much of your time to us. I said, no, someone did it for me. So I'm doing it for you. You will do it for someone else because you won't be like this. And that is life, right?
One of the biggest challenges about autism is that it is an incredibly expensive condition to have. And it's a lifelong condition to have. If you cannot afford the 20 different therapies that have been recommended to you, there's so much you can do sitting in your home. Go back, lean forward, go back, lean forward, higher, higher. Breathe. Soft underneath.
And exercise was the one that worked out the most for us, which gave us more bang for our buck, to be honest. Coordinated exercises can be the most effective way for both sides of your brain hemispheres to communicate and to grow neurotransmitters. The most effective and proven way.
9, 10, 11, 12, touch. Very good.
Know your child. Look at him, look at her, and look at, for example, what they eat and what is the effect on, on their behavior. Are they going hyper, or is it calming them? Sometimes just observation, just to know your child.
So it's the bronze and the silver. So where is Suleiman?
I think for a lot of parents, it's really important to actually think about the future financially for your child, how you're going to leave them. If you're watching this film, look around your closest network, whether they're family or friends or colleague, and I guarantee you will find somebody who has a child with special needs or knows somebody with special needs. So it's not as uncommon as we think it is. It is incredibly common right now. And so these kids that you see today are going to be adults in 10, 15, 20 years. Where are they going to be? Are you going to put them in a home? Or should we now start thinking about some sort of employment opportunity for them to feel like productive human beings?
And I've always made sure that he doesn't need help with his everyday living. So he can cook for himself, he can do laundry, his own needs he can take care of. And I strongly believe that anyone who can cook can survive anywhere. I believe that. I make sure that he's part of the kitchen every single day.
14, 21, 28, 4. 3 division 1 equals 2. 12.
Correct.
And we're fortunate right now that we live in a country like the UAE where that is a #1 priority for them. It is here where they say people of determination are at the forefront of how can we serve them and help them serve our community.
Every day, every morning, you have to make a choice. Are you going to be miserable? Because you can. Or am I going to be really grateful and happy with what I have? I can't change the situation. It's not going to change by me worrying about the future, and it doesn't help.
And I think you attract what you are. Whatever's inside you, you see a lot of that outside you. So when you have this acceptance, you get the same thing back, you get the same love back. And I think we've been blessed in that way to receive a lot of love from people.
In those days, John the Baptist came preaching in the wilderness of Judea.
I am a better version of myself today. I am a better mother for Louis today. And whatever you go through, cry, it's normal. Then after some time, wipe your eyes so that you can see clearly and continue your road. It's going to be okay.